respected chairpersons, senior members of the faculty and friends. At the outset, let me thank the Mumbai Kidney Foundation and Dr. Umesh Khanna for the kind invitation and this opportunity to participate here, and to Vaibhav for sponsoring this event. So I shall talk about the effective medical literature search. When this topic was allocated to me and I saw Vaibhav's name, we got into touch with each other, and then we planned how we are going to do this session. Thank you, Vaibhav, for setting up a Zoom meeting with me and about a week back, and then we planned how to do it. So I'll start off with some basics of literature search, and then Vaibhav and me would demonstrate online how somebody can do it. So the next half an hour or so, I should highlight to you the importance of a comprehensive literature search, the Boolean operators, the keywords, mesh, databases, and resources, etc. Because of Indigo, I missed Vaibhav's talk yesterday. So there are likely to be some overlaps, so kindly pardon me for that. So when I was doing my MD as well as my DM, this is how we used to search the literature. So we used to go to our library and then take a ladder up to the 7th shelf there and pull out one of these books, dust it, you have a lot of sneezing, then bring it down, and finally you'll find what you're looking for is actually not there. So it used to be such a laborious procedure, and as Manjunath is mentioning, that particular page somebody would have torn off. So this is how literature search used to be for the youngsters. This looks very ancient. It's almost like a museum. Now things are much better. Now you can sit at home and with the touch of a button, you can search whatever you want. So why do we do a literature search? So what is a literature search? It's an exhaustive search for published information on a subject, conducted systematically using all available bibliographic finding tools, aimed at locating as much existing material on the topic as possible, an important initial step for a serious research project. So you can define it otherwise, a systematic and well-organized search from the already published data to identify a breadth of good quality references on a specific topic. Why do we search the literature? To answer a specific case-related question that we see every day in our practice, to learn more about a medical topic, education. Tomorrow there's a topic going to be discussed by my resident, I would still look it up. To determine the current practice guideline, we have this KDIGO updating now and then. To give the best possible care to patients using evidence-based medicine. And when we are asked to speak in an academic forum, the first thing that we do is to go and look at a literature search. So what is a database? A database is an organized collection of data. Bibliographic databases are searched through many of the same techniques as any other database. Today I'll be focusing on PubMed. These techniques apply to any literature database. So searching a database, different search interfaces do the same thing in slightly different ways. A good search interface should provide ability to search for a specific item and ability to search for related items to a known item, ability to search in a specific field, and ability to combine the search terms using the Boolean logic, and able to retrieve the search in a useful way. So asking the questions, I think this has been addressed, the PICO the format. So the patient, the intervention, the comparison outcomes. Now you have to pass the question. What are the main concepts in your question? A sample question. Does nutrition therapy improve decubitus ulcer in an elderly patient? Now what are the concepts here? One is nutrition therapy. Second is the decubitus or pressure ulcers. The third is the ulcer healing. The fourth is the elderly patient. And of course the treatment efficacy. Now we have to grouping or nesting. So what is this? The nesting represents parenthesis, a bracket symbol, is a technique of searching that considers similar concepts indicated by a logical command or expressed in different terms as a single term. For example, You can use fever or febrile, paracetamol or acetaminophen, kidney or renal. So this is called grouping. Then there's something called the truncation. Truncation is a searching technique used in database in which a word ending is replaced by symbols. So a symbol of truncation can be asterisks or a question mark depending on the database. So when we type child, the results of our search will include documents that contain the word child, children, childhood or child care. So everything will be covered. So the objectives here are to formulate a question, understand the basic database structure, use of Boolean logic, use field searching, use of controlled vocabulary, specialty techniques like truncation, and then building your search strategy. So what is this Boolean logic? This is a British mathematician named George Boole who developed an algebraic system of logic that is now widely used in computer and electronic systems, including database searching. A very simple form of Boolean logic is used for searching in most bibliographic databases. So the standard Boolean logic for database uses three relationships among search terms: and, or, not. These are three simple terms. Brevity is in beauty, as Dr. Nithya mentioned yesterday. So these three terms are both simple and powerful. So let us look at some examples. This is and, drugs and cancer. We have all heard about, seen these Venn diagrams when we were in school. So both terms are included in any result. If a record has only one of the two terms, it will not be retrieved. If the record has neither term, it will not be retrieved. And groupings contain terms for different ideas or concepts and can combine the or groupings. For example, heart attack and smoking, diabetes and exercise, cancer and treatment or therapy. Now coming to the Boolean logic or. Now dogs or canines. So only one, not both of the terms are in the results. Or will retrieve the record if both are included. So the or groupings contain terms for the same idea or concept and are usually put in brackets. The term or, and another term, where all terms are different ways of representing the same concept. For example, faculty or teachers or professors. So they all basically mean the same concept. Students or learners or pupils. They again mean the same concept. Now coming to the Boolean logic not. So now drugs, not antibiotics. So it excludes any results containing the term. Records containing both will not be retrieved. The not statements are usually actually put at the end and can contain an or grouping. So students, not dental. Diabetes, not juvenile. So these are examples of using the word not. And you can combine similar terms. Use the Boolean operators to combine different terms, or to combine different terms for the same concept, and to combine different concepts. And not excludes concepts but be used with caution so that you don't exclude relevant items. Now putting them together, identifying the concepts, pass the question, list specific terms for each concept, put the terms for each concept in an or statements within brackets, and then combine or statements with and add not statements at the end. So what is PubMed? PubMed is a free resource. It's maintained by the National Center for Biotechnology Information at the NIH, and publishers of journals can submit their citations to this library and provide access to the full text of articles at journal websites using the link outs. So it contains about 32 million citations in Medline, life science journals and online books. Citations may include link to the full text content from the PubMed Central and publisher websites. It contains all citations from the medical literature back to 1946, and it is updated daily directly from the publishers. It links directly to the home pages of the journals. So where did PubMed come from? the history of PubMed is traced back to the end of the American Civil War when Dr. John Billings, a field surgeon in the Union Army, after finishing his army service, was offered a job at the Surgeon General's office in 1865 as a librarian. So he took charge of the library. It had about 1,800 books at that time. And he was looking at a graduation thesis on epilepsy. And that is when he found a lot of difficulty initially. So he decided he'll establish a comprehensive medical library for American physicians and to prepare a comprehensive catalog and index of the medical literature. So he was supplemented by the organizational skills of one Dr. Robert Fletcher, who joined the library to pursue the idea of indexing the medical literature. So why use PubMed? So all of us use PubMed. The first thing that we do whenever we have a problem, we go to PubMed. It's the most widely used database. It's free. It's very user-friendly. And this is how the home page would look like. Now, if you look at the bottom of the page, there'll be a couple of things here. There are FAQs here and a user guide. And even for somebody who's using it first time, you can actually go through it. It's very user-friendly. And it guides you about how to go about things. Then there is an advanced search options, clinical queries, citation manager, then the downloads, and then very importantly, this mesh database, which I shall be talking about a little later. The newer version of the PubMed, the newer retrieval features include improved sensors, enhances the synonyms, the plurals, unlimited truncations you can use, and enhanced British American mapping. So the improved best match brings the best results to the top. Now how do I search PubMed? Identify the key concepts of your search and enter the terms or key concepts in the search box. Suggestions will display as you type your search terms, and click search to run this search in PubMed. So now this is something that I ran this morning, COVID-19 vaccine. So you will find about 52,212 results. And here if you looked at the left, you will see the publications, the number of publications that are made. Obviously, it was 20, 21, 22 where maximum publications were made. And after 24, you find the publications decreased. Now, here you would see the availability as an abstract, free full text for full text, where you can apply these filters and you can filter it out more. In some other topic, if you want to look at literature in the last 2 years, it gives you the option of 1 year and 5 years and 10 years. So it comes down later in the left side of the column. So this is a simple search. You're just looking at COVID-19 vaccine. Now how do I search by author? Suppose we know the particular author's name and then you want to look at all his publications. Most of the researchers are working on one particular area. So it's very easy to pick up papers by one particular author. So where we put this person's name either with the initials as it is mentioned here or the entire name format. So this morning I searched Vivekanand Jha, the biggest researcher in our country. And you can see about 571 results. Of course, it may not be very comprehensive, but because there may be some journals where he published and that they are not included in PubMed. And you could see his publications starting from 2002, and you can see the peak somewhere in 2018, 19, 20. So this is the publications that he has made. So you can put any particular author you want, and then you can retrieve all his publications that are being indexed by PubMed. This depends on the journal it's published. Not all journals are indexed by PubMed. To get indexed on PubMed, there is a process by which it has to be done. For example, our Indian Society of Organ Transplant is not indexed on PubMed as of yet. The Indian Journal of Nephrology is indexed, but the Indian Journal of Transplant is not yet indexed. It has to go through a process before it gets indexed in PubMed. Now, how do I search by journal name? Suppose you know a particular journal and then you know the title abbreviation as given in the Vancouver style or the ISSN number, you could search. Suppose I search Indian Journal of Nephrology. So I get 1747 results. Of course, again, not very comprehensive, but then you can pick up the particular articles in the Indian Journal of Nephrology. So you can see it from 2008 up to 24 you could see the articles there. And of course the IJN is freely available for our access. Now I have some information such as the author, journal name and the year the article was published. So I want to pick up this particular article. Of course you could do it on Google, but then we have to just enter in the search box, and PubMed citation sensor will automatically analyze the search for the citation information. For example, this particular journal, Physiology Reviews 2017. So I just type this and I get the article there, role of the immune system in hypertension was the article there. And if you look at the right here, you can see the PubMed Central where this full text is available. So if you want this particular article, you just go there and download it there. Or it takes you to the journal website from where you can download it. And of course, there is a citation. So you want to cite this again, the citation is here and you can actually copy the citation. And if you look below this, you will find similar articles on this subject, which is actually very useful. So you pick up a particular topic and you're reading about a particular topic, then you know similar articles will be there and you can take the entire list out there. And also the articles that have cited this article, that also can be found out in the bottom line. So this gives you a very wide range of coverage and a lot of information that you can get in very quick time. So how can I get the copy of the article? Of course, this is what most students would ask, because sometimes you go into the website and you have to pay so many dollars to get a website. Some of them, of course, the PubMed central citations will be there and you could just download there. There are a number of articles that are available free. In fact, it will be mentioned very clearly that it is a free article, like for example here. So where you could just go and download this article. Of course, if you have a library, the library could have access to the journal, and some online journals, of course, provide free access. Now, this is a search using the Boolean operator. Now, we have looked at obesity and kidney. So, look at the number of results retrieved, nearly 13,219. And again, you look at the publications. We know a couple of years back we had a World Kidney Day theme on obesity and kidney. So maybe after that there are a number of articles here, and you can see the number of articles is actually rising every year on obesity and kidney disease. And if you have actually read one of these articles, you see this in blue and you see this in purple. So that means you already clicked there and you read that article. So sometimes you may forget that you have in the enormous literature that is available, you would have forgotten that you have downloaded this particular article or you have already read it. So it will indicate to you that you have read it earlier. So, and as I mentioned to you, you can look at the list of similar articles. So there are some tricks that you can use. If you use it within quotations, like blood pressure, or if you use it within asterisks. So you can also use this to search for any phrase that includes a truncated term. So for example, heart, and you put an asterisk. So everything regarding that, including cardiac, will be seen. So then coming to this mesh headings. This mesh is nothing but medical subject headings. Now this is a controlled vocabulary. So every term represents a single concept and only one term is used for that concept. So for example, there are teachers, faculty, instructors, professors, educators. In a controlled vocabulary, one of these will be chosen to represent a concept. So it could be faculty, dental, faculty, medical, faculty, nursing, etc. So the concept here is people who teach. So the mesh control vocabulary is one of the distinctive features of PubMed, and this imposes uniformity and consistency to the indexing of a biomedical literature. Mesh terms are arranged in a hierarchical categorized manner called the mesh tree structures and are updated annually. As of today, 30,000 mesh headings are available in PubMed. So here, if you look at the mesh subheading, I shall come to it a little later. So renal cell carcinoma. So you can get it these are the mesh terms for renal cell carcinoma. So here you can build an option, search option, take diagnosis out, add to the search builder, and then you can add PubMed, search PubMed. So why use the mesh? It increases precision of your search, get articles that are really about your topic, and allows you to use subheadings like therapy, genetics, drug effects, etc. and finds articles regardless of the terminology the author uses. On the other hand, you may not get the latest articles because PubMed database takes a little time to index and label each article. So this is an automatic, simple subject search, automatic query translation. So you search PubMed for prostate cancer proteomics. So this includes proteomics, the mesh term, on the proteomics in all the fields, and the neoplasms, prostatic neoplasms, or prostate and cancer, everything. And this query translation comes this way. Now, once you go to this PubMed, you can actually, there's a drop box here where you can get this mesh terms. Now, let us use this mesh term for malaria. Now, if you go through the entire list, I've only taken a screenshot of 4. There are 14 terms that mesh has listed for malaria. A few years back it was less, now it's about 14. So we have checked the first box here for malaria and the result from the mesh search, and then you go to the display settings and then you put the format of full and 20 items per page and apply. So after clicking on malaria, this display settings, drop down menu, click on full button and then apply. So the record for mesh terms malaria containing the definition, associated subheadings and the list of entry terms and the tree view of malaria of mesh comes here. And highlighted is the definition provided for malaria, and note the subheadings under which malaria can be taken. Now you can tick which one you want, and then for each mesh term, entry terms are also listed along with the references. And now we build this malaria mesh term, and this is included in the PubMed search builder. So you add to the search builder and then you search PubMed once again. So when we include malaria as a mesh term and then look, this morning as a result, 76,766 results we found on malaria mesh terms. And of course, though malaria seems to be a disease that looks like we had conquered, but look at the number of articles that have actually been increasing in the last few years on malaria. Of course, the articles now are on vaccines and other methods of prevention, newer diagnostic methods, etc. So these are the different mesh terms that can be used, and you can set up a filter. These filters are very important. You can look at clinical trial, you can look at an RCT, you can look at the English language, the free full text or the full text published in the last 5 years or 10 years. And then these filters can be applied. So it's not possible to look at 76,000 references. So if you want to look at the last 1 year and you want to look at only RCTs, so you will get only a few out of this. So these filters help you to narrow down your search so that it helps your topic. It is humanly impossible for somebody to go through 76,000 abstracts. So here is one example: carcinoma, renal cell and necrosis, and Kaplan-Meier survival. So you will get this combination of articles, and this is the PubMed Advanced Search Builder. So where you add a term to the query box and then enter a search term, and you get this PubMed clinical queries where you can choose what you want, systematic reviews you want, or something on genetics or clinical study categories, etc. So here you can actually look at, you can set your category, whether the scope you want it broad or narrow, the therapy, the kidney tumor and active surveillance, and then you look at, you got 5 results, and then systematic reviews of 5 out of 14, and then if you look at genetics, there are about 2. So you can set your category and emphasize the sensitivity and specificity, whether you want a narrow scope of search or a broad scope of search. So prostate cancer and proteomics category, prognosis, and then narrow it down. So it becomes what was 82 results becomes only 12 results, and then so it helps you to narrow down your results. And when you are happy with your search, you must save it. So you can save it on what is, either you can just download the abstracts or the citations, keep ticking them, and then you can save it on, you can choose your destination into a file or a clipboard, etc. So this can be saved as a text file on your hard drive. This allows for future editing. Or the clipboard can be chosen to save all your searches. The clipboard will hold the articles on your computer for about 8 hours. At the end, click on the clipboard and collect all your articles. So you can mail it also, if in case you want to look at a mail, or you can set up even alerts if email updates of a new search result on the same topic, that can be delivered to your email. And these citations are displayed in a rank order from most to least relevant. This is one of the hallmarks of PubMed, that when you search, you will get a better, the most relevant articles on top and the most recent. There also you can actually search by relevance and also by the date of publication. So the latest articles may come in front, or you can search in terms of relevance, where the relevant articles would come first. So something published in 2017 may come first because the relevance is more important, because you ticked on relevance. So then you can you can use all combinations. So you know the author, the year, but you do not know the rest, or you know the year and the words, but you can't remember. You can try it out in this citation, single citation manager, which is under the PubMed tools. So there is a reference manager software where you can actually store all your data. And again, these are the filters that I had mentioned: free full text in English, published in the last 5 years, etc. And you can actually pick up a free version here and then take it from there. So look out for full text articles. Select the papers you want to read to write your manuscript. And not available, then you have to make your way out. There are some pharma companies that are able to provide this educational service where you want a particular article, they can get it for you. So these are the field tags that are used: author, title, text word, date of publication. All this is available in the frequently asked questions section. There are YouTube videos on how to use PubMed. So, and once you start using it, it becomes extremely easy. So when you're looking at a bibliographic search, start with clear ideas about what you're looking for. If you do not have a thorough knowledge of the subject, it's good to read recent good reviews that can be helpful. Use electronic tools. PubMed is a very easy way. And how to make your search quick and accurate, you can look at online tutorials, practice it yourself. It's very simple. Identify and use the most appropriate mesh terms, and don't forget to look at the references of the most relevant papers on the topic and the citations also. So if you have a reference manager software, then it will be easy to download. And of course, print only if necessary. We are all worried about the carbon footprints, and we are all talking of green nephrology. So only if necessary, please print, otherwise you can save it. So the 7 steps for an effective PubMed search are: to access PubMed, break your search into component concepts and enter terms for each concept separately. Use advanced search to combine results, display setting to abstract and then apply. Review the abstracts, then relevant citations to the clipboard. For the most relevant citations, click on related articles, sent to clipboard. Repeat till most relevant citations are identified. And of course, you can refine your search using filters like article type, language, publication dates, RCTs, reviews, free texts, or systematic reviews, etc. Now this is about PubMed. This is a Cochrane library. Now this is owned by Cochrane, published by Wiley. This is also a collection of databases. This is a British charitable organization that organizes these medical research findings, and there's a editorial teams that looks into these. It's a unique worldwide organization. It prepares, maintains and promotes the accessibility of systematic reviews of the effects of healthcare interventions. It's a not-for-profit organization, collaborates with organizations free of commercial interests. So these methods are based on the results of studies that meet certain quality criteria, since the most reliable studies will provide the best evidence for making decisions about healthcare. So this Cochrane database of systematic reviews is a leading resource, and it is a peer-reviewed systematic review that is prepared and supervised by the review group. So it goes through a very stringent process where they look into all gray and published in all languages, and then they look at by a structured method. They identify the studies, review for relevance, they do a critical appraisal, and then they extract the data and then they publish. And in this hierarchy, you find that Cochrane and systematic reviews are almost on top of the triangle. So here also you have the similar search strategies. So you can set the limits, all dates or the last 6 months or the last 3 months, whatever. And if you look at this word hypertension, so you get relevant articles, relevant reviews on hypertension. In 2023, the Cochrane database has an impact factor of about 8.8, not that very great, but it's ranked 19th of the 172 journals in the medicine, general and internal category. And it received something like 92,000 sites in 2021 and about 81,000 sites in 2020. The 5-year journal impact factor is 11.95 compared to 2020 when it was only 9.8. So it's a most authoritative and up-to-date source of evidence-based information and can help clinicians make decisions about appropriate and effective healthcare. It brings together in one place research which looks at the effectiveness of different healthcare treatments and interventions. Are they very reliable? About 30% of reviews had major problems, including inappropriate methods and conclusions. Improvement, however, is still possible. So what we started off like this, it's now much better. Today I can sit in front of my laptop and then do a search and get relevant information. So I think as students and young consultants, all of us should be proficient with the use of PubMed. Of course, there are a lot of other databases like Mendeley and all that, a lot of complicated ones which Valley may be knowing. These are there, but I think PubMed is the most user-friendly, and it's been, over the last 15 years I've been using it, found it more and more efficiently doing its work and become more user-friendly. Actually, when I came for this meeting, I thought I was a big faculty here invited for this meeting. But after listening to the mind-boggling talks yesterday by Srijit, Manjunath, Valley, Vaibhav, and all others, I go back as a very humble delegate. Thank you very much, Kanna sir, for calling me. Now I invite Vaibhav to come over and then help. If somebody has a topic to search, we could do it online and then do it. One of the students can tell us a topic.
The idea was this workshop to involve you all to search actually while we are doing it. So any volunteers, anyone wants to search something?
Please tell your thesis topic.
Yeah, anything.
Yes, anyone?
The thesis topic research, yeah.
Yes, come on.
I want to know about hypertension in dialysis patients. What is the available data, any RCTs that have been done comparing the efficacy of different drugs?
All right, now let us work together. So you want to understand hypertension in dialysis patients. So tell me the keywords that you have in mind. So ask me a question in PICO format.
So in patients on hemodialysis, whether drug A is better than drug B in controlling hypertension.
Okay, let's go a step back. Hypertension in dialysis patient. What do you want to know? Incidence, causes?
So I want to know
treatment.
About drugs, like RCTs that
Right.
have been done,
Okay.
which compare the efficacy of two different drugs in controlling hypertension in dialysis patients.
Fine. So tell me the. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, before going into such a specific question, so let us first review the subject. Okay, so let us search for hypertension and dialysis first. Look at some review articles, understand the subject, and then go to your next question of whether A is better or B is better.
Yeah. So so for example, this is you're doing this for a seminar that you are delivering or talk you are delivering, or you want to design your own thesis. So you have to formulate a question, identify the keywords, okay, and have in mind what kind of studies you want to search for. It could be, say, retrospective studies, prospective studies, or it could be actual trials. Okay, so do you want to try how to do it in PubMed?
So I'll type hypertension
Okay.
and hemodialysis.
Is this screen visible on YouTube also?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It is.
Okay, I have typed hypertension. What else? And
Hemodialysis.
okay, I search. So I got 17,000 results. Alright, so what PubMed did is it brought out all the articles that contain hypertension as well as hemodialysis. Any article that has either one of them only is excluded. So all of them have hypertension. So look at the example. First is hypertension in patients treated with in-center maintenance hemodialysis, current evidence and future opportunities, a scientific statement. So the most relevant one will appear here. Okay. So now what you have it in mind, first, as Sir said, you want to understand what the previous studies have done, and then in particular you are interested in randomized control trial. So maybe you can save these searches like this, click, and then you can actually save the search. If you log in, you can do that. But before that, let us use filters. Okay. So in filters, if you scroll down, of course you can click any of these. If you click abstracts, you will be able to read abstracts and decide then and there whether this article is of your interest or not. Come down and search for clinical trials, search for meta-analysis, because meta-analysis will be a source where you will get all the RCTs. Someone has done that work before. You don't need to invent the wheel. Click trials and now see. Now your search is narrowed to 1139 results. Okay. So now look at this thing, effect of hemodiafiltration and hemodialysis in mortality in kidney failure. Is this the one you are searching about? No. This article is there just because the subject, the either title, abstract or full text has hypertension and hemodialysis in it. Okay. So even if it is not about treatment of hypertension, so this is giving us irrelevant results. So what should actually be done is to identify keywords, see if they have mesh terms allotted to them, combine all those mesh terms and build your search. Okay, so let us start afresh. Now you guide me how to do it.
Go down.
Okay,
Explore mesh database.
okay, excellent.
We type first hypertension.
Oh, so many entries for hypertension. Tell me which one.
Or only hypertension.
All right.
And search. We add this to the search builder.
You want to first explore what is there in because if I add to search builder, even incidence of hypertension in animals, whatever the subheadings are there will be included. So do you want to choose anything? drug. Anything else? Therapy as well? Okay. This will be repetition, but you want to see what else is there. Just go through all other subheadings also. Maybe include diet therapy also, because sometimes they may remotely be connected to your search. And then, are we missing anything?
Unfortunately, dialysis machine is not.
That would have been very easy. Now tell me. So you think you have covered hypertension. Then I'll type and you can type it here also, or yeah. Hemodialysis. Okay. Okay, now we have renal dialysis, solutions, and okay, so I'll click on this and try and see if there's any relevant subheadings. Adverse effect classification, economics. Is there anything of relevance? Pardon? Okay. Huh. So if you don't find any subheadings relevant, you can simply ignore them and add as such to search builder. Okay. So you don't have to compulsorily check the boxes. You add. Okay. So I can change this Boolean operator here, but I don't want to use or. I want to use and. Okay. So I have. Once I click on add to search builder, the search builder has added and in after that it has written renal dialysis as mesh term. Okay, so should I click on search? Do you want anything to add? Not. Yes. What do you think? Not what? So these are synonymous these things. Okay. So what is extracorporeal dialysis? So there is no peritoneal dialysis term separately. So if you exclude extracorporeal dialysis, you may actually be excluding what you want. Okay. So all hemodialysis sessions are extracorporeal dialysis. That's what. So let's see what happens. Okay, now I have got 1,500 results. So just read couple of them. Real world treatment for hypertension in hemodialysis. Second one is effect of hemodialysis practice guidelines on dialysis indicators, hemodynamic complications among the patients undergoing hemodialysis. Some of them are relevant, some still may not be relevant. So what do? You apply filters. What kind of filters do you want? Trials, meta-analysis, RCTs, okay, is that enough? We can see, we can always change the filters. Now you have 184. This is slightly manageable. Okay, so let's see. Pragmatic trial of hospitalization rate in CKD. Is it relevant? No. So you just go through all these citations and pick whatever you are interested in. For example, beta blocker efficacy in intra and interdialytic hypertension patients, a systematic review and meta-analysis. I think this is gold mine. Okay, so this is your starting point. So click on that.
It's gold mine and also a very recent publication, 2020.
Yeah, so probably someone has worked on it. So he must have seen all the literature. Of course, we don't only rely on this, but we get very good starting points here. So now, can you suggest what should I do with this review? Okay, I have saved and now I am just going through this citation. So is there on this page you can get very good references. So comment in similar articles. Then if you go to the full text, references, cited by, all those are important tabs where you can get the articles you are interested in. So let's see what this tab gives us. So these are the references, and show all 29 references. Most probably this list will have the randomized control trials that you are interested in. So this is one way, and then you can click on each one, add to the save this search. Now go down to similar articles. Skim through these articles and see if there are randomized control trials about drug A versus drug B. Go to cited by. So any article that has published after this article, which had cited this article, you can get important data in that as well. Scroll it down. Okay. So it has given mesh terms. So see if you have missed anything. So you just use hypertension and hemodialysis. See if you can use treatment outcomes, renal dialysis. Renal dialysis we have used, and we have used drug therapy. And we just missed probably this important mesh, but otherwise we are good. We don't need to use humans and come down and see if you are missing. I think we have covered this. Okay, so this is a good starting point. You go through these resources and sort articles one by one. Okay. Anything else that you want to add, Dr. Edwin?
I'm curious how it chooses similar articles. Because like for example, the first one, I mean, to the eye doesn't have anything to do with this article.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry. So ideally what it should do is similar articles are chosen based on keywords and mesh terms. So,
but even relevance, like even with a simple search, how does it choose relevance, or how does it choose what comes first?
So there is this mapping done by PubMed to mesh terms. So if there is a mesh term existing, that will be used as first research. So let us see what PubMed does. Is there a way to find what it does is? Yes. So I'm writing hypertension in hemodialysis patients. I just asked a query. Okay. So I'll clear all the filters. Okay, now I have 14,600. So is there any way I know what PubMed did? Is go to advanced, go here and look at this hypertension hemodialysis patients. Click on that. This is what PubMed did to answer my query. So it first searched I think I typed it wrong, but okay, hypertension, all fields. I did the right thing. Okay. So it searched for hypertension in all fields. It added hypertension. After the or, it added hypertension as mesh terms only. Then hypertension in all fields, hypertension, all the variations of hypertension, hypertensive, in all fields, and basically mesh terms. And then after this was about hypertension till this time, and after and it started adding dialysis terms. Dialysis in all fields. All fields is title, abstract, and the actual paper. Then it added patients. So look at this thing. If I add patients, so I may get articles which are not relevant to hypertension or hemodialysis. Any paper that has only patients is also included. So I have to be very careful when I type in. About the Boolean operators, if I type in small letters, there is a chance that instead of considering that and as Boolean operator, PubMed thinks that I have to give articles which have and in the title and in the abstract. So I may get irrelevant articles also. Probably that is why sometimes we get irrelevant similar articles. Okay. So so this is the way PubMed thinks. So easier one, I think, is easier to understand is IgA nephropathy treatment. Okay, so I typed in without considering mesh terms, without considering Boolean operators, and there is a good chance that I get relevant articles in first few ones. Current treatment of IgA nephropathy in adults, all this. Probably all of them are relevant. So is there any way I can restrict myself to relevant randomized control trials? Can we do this exercise? Anyone? Any volunteers? How should I start? I want to have, do we have time? 5 minutes, okay. Just last one. Any volunteers? How should we start? Okay, let us see what PubMed has done about this query. So instead of only mesh terms, it has, all other relevant articles also. Any therapy which is mesh subheading. So instead of that, I have to be very specific.
Is there a way to just directly edit on that itself? It has already done a search for us with a lot of search terms. Is there
So
a way?
if I have done it before, I can get it already.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You can
go
copy
back.
paste that into the.
You can just, is there a way to?
So this search
This
term you can
search.
copy paste into
We
the.
just-
Yes,
we can
yes,
just copy
yes,
paste
yes.
and edit as we
Yes, we can do that. For example, I just copy it. Open a new window or even the same window, and I can simply edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is possible. But now, if I want to search for IgA nephropathy, I just go to mesh database. I type in IgA just to see if IgA nephropathy is a valid mesh term. Yes, it is. So drop down menu suggested that IgA nephropathy is a valid term. I go in therapy and I add it to search builder. Oh, surgery as well. Yeah, because people use tonsillectomy. So anything else? Rehabilitation. Okay, transplants will be under this. Anything else that you want to add?
Do you want to add mortality also?
Okay, mortality. Anything else?
Prevention and control.
But that will not give me treatment. All right, let's see. I add to search builder and then search PubMed. I quoted phrase. All right, rehabilitation. There is under this subheading there was no article indexed, so that's okay. So I've been given 940. So let me restrict to clinical trials. I got 68. This is manageable. So let's start. So effectiveness and safety of corticosteroid therapy in IgA nephropathy. Of course, you can change the way it is sort by relevance, sort by best match, sort by publication date. So this is quite reasonable, most recent.
Sir, here in this list, suppose we come across articles like there was one article on animals, rats,
Huh.
and there's one in pediatric population.
Hmm.
We want to remove
Yes, we can do that. Come down, additional filters and species, humans, age, whatever. Okay, you can do that. Okay, but to start with, I would recommend to keep the scope wide, because it may happen that you missed a very good or important article if we restrict. For example, there are studies where now even children are added to the inclusion criterion. Earlier, every trial would exclude people below 18 years. So now we are coming up with glomerular trials, glomerular disease trials, where even pediatric population is also added. Any recent example of this? Any FSGS trial that included children as well as adults? Okay, homework. Okay, so the point is, do not exclude too many things to start with. As you go ahead, you can do that. So let me uncheck this and go for randomized control trial. Okay. Now see, somehow I am not getting the latest trials.
Maybe you can use the filter for year of publication.
Yeah, so I missed something.
You can just move the slider also on the left from 86.
Actually, it is sorted out in most recent.
Most recent. Okay. So all right. So let me go back. If I want to save this search, I can click save and create a file, but you have to log in to access this. I can email this, I can send it to someone else. Display option will have summaries or abstracts or PMIDs in it. If you don't want to scroll too many times, you can have 200 at a time, and yeah, like that. So you can modify this search. Alright, I think this is the time we have, and we have to conclude the session. I hope there was some clarity about doing it hands-on. You can keep doing it to get better at it. Thank you. Thanks. Any comments from chair?
I think Dr. Edwin I think this was a superb session, good initiation for people who are still not using PubMed routinely. It is something that has to become part of our daily routine when we are working, and like you said at the end, keep doing it to get better at it. And I think we are still evolving, so we are all learning with time how to use it.
I think all has been said, but when Edwin started, I was taken back to 1977-78 when I started on and how we used to climb up and remove and ate a lot of dust. But this, of course, is now, and what Vaibhav and Edwin have done is taken us to what is current day methodology for getting a good literature search and trying to expand the available data for planning your study. Thank you.